think we have to come out here.
That sounds good to me.
They're so far away, so.
Absolutely. This feels so much better. Shalom Aleichem.
Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. That's the whole thing. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Make sure you've said it to the people around you. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Alechem shalom. So I'm sorry to tell you that tonight at the Oneg there won't be challah. I know. We still got matzah. A few more hours of matzah. Right, in the Reformed tradition, just 7 days, thankfully. That's what the Torah says, so let's go with it. A message, though, about matzah that I shared last night with the Brotherhood at their Seder, and I've shared before elsewhere, especially thinking of my teacher, Rabbi Richard Levy, who was here for my installation a few years ago and who is not doing so well these days, so especially in his name. He talks about the chametz that we are told to go and find before Passover begins, right? We rid our houses of chametz. Chametz actually, it's vinegar, most specifically, right? If you were to translate that word, you could translate it as vinegar, which makes sense, right? It's about the fermentation that goes on with yeast. So chametz isn't yeast exactly. It's the souring of the item. And so we seek out that which sours and that which bloats through that process of souring and creating the gas that yeast does. And then we eat matzah for 7 days. This item that is flat, this item that is crunchy, this item that has the bloatedness taken out of it. And Rabbi Levi taught me that not only do we seek out the chametz in our bread products on Passover, but also the chametz that's maybe inside of each of us. That while there's the physical aspect of eating matzah, that the spiritual aspect is what is bloated in you, what's filled up with air that maybe needs to be cleaned out. What parts of us get filled up with air. And it's worth taking a look, especially in the last few hours of Passover. What could I still clean out? Where's the chametz in my soul? Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody who's joining us on our live stream. Shabbat Shalom to you, and still for a few more hours, Chag Sameach as well to everybody. We are on page 138. Page 138, Lechadodi. We welcome Shabbat into our sanctuary. Verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we reach our ninth and final verse, if you're able, please rise and face the entrance of our sanctuary as we can, not yet, the ninth verse. When we reach our ninth and final verse, we'll rise. But that's good, we're anticipating the arrival of Shabbat HaMalkah, as she's called, the Sabbath bride. Again, 138, 139, verses 1, 2, 5, and
9.
שמחה וצהולה צחוק אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לקראת כלה בני שבת נקם לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. We continue to sing to Shabbat, page 140, Psalm 92.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. עלי אסור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בנאות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
We turn back in our prayer books to page 120, 121, and invite Linda Sokolov to our bima to light our Sabbath lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzibanu lehadlik ner shal Shabbat.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you, Linda. We continue with the Baruch, our call to prayer on page 146. Please rise if you're able. We continue reading on the bottom of page 149 together. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim. And continuing responsibly on the bottom of 151. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love
than this holiest of your works, in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please rise for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And even as we celebrate Passover, we still recognize that when we were standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 158, Micha Mocha.
Nora
היה בפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. If you think of yourself as a young person, come and join me on the floor up here. That's the criteria. That's the only criteria. You only have to think of yourself as a young person.
And maybe be willing to sit on the floor.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that is part of the criteria. Yes.
So I could use a few people who see themselves as adults to help us hold the talit. You can find the words in your handout.
So, like I say, every month, everybody look around the circle. Everybody look around the circle. There we go. So not only those of us here, but the entire community of Temple Beth Emeth is your community. And just like some of our adult members of the community are holding the talit over us, creating a canopy of peace for us, we hope that you always feel like this community, and those of you sitting around in this circle especially, for each other, is a place of peace, a place where you shelter each other with peace. Not just count on the adults to do that, but do it for each other.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomrenu lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomrenu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred
Thank you. You can stay if you want here, or you can go back to your seats, whichever you'd like. We continue, page 162.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת בדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת בדורותם ברית עולם.
We have now reached the Amidah, the main prayer of this evening's service. And on page 168, just for everybody to be aware, even though we almost made a mistake this morning, because you get so used to saying Mashiv Haruach.
That even when you're looking at Morid Hatal,
Yeah.
it wants to come out the other way.
We are switching the insertion of the weather we pray for, right? Not we are not praying for wind and rain anymore, or snow.
Oh, snow.
It's not going to snow. No, it's not. It's not going to snow. It is not happening. So we're not praying for that anymore. And to be honest with you, we're never praying for that here. That prayer is always about the land of Israel. So that's the area it has in mind. But so we switch from our winter insertion to our summer insertion, Morid Hatal, that we hope that the dew falls on the grass and the bushes and whatnot, because it rains here. It's supposed to rain here in the spring, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but not in
April
Israel.
Showers,
In
Mayflowers.
Spring and summer in Israel, it's dry. So you hope for dew is the best you can hope for. I'm going to suggest, since we are not, technically, Shabbat, well, it's sort of an odd situation we're in right now, right? Because we brought in Shabbat, it's still light outside. I'm going to suggest that you don't do the insertions for Passover, which, if you're going to pray along in the Hebrew or English, there is an insertion on page 174. That's the only one. I'm going to suggest that you don't do that, that even though we will still be eating matzah at Oneg, we're only eating matzah oneg because we can't have the bread today. We couldn't have made the bread today to eat at oneg. So even though once we leave here, your rabbi says Passover's over, and since this is the evening, you can see how convoluted this is. I'm just saying, don't do the insertions, is my suggestion. I'm not going to. Okay. And you're going out for pizza afterwards? Somebody is. All right. I had matzah pizza for dinner. Page 164 through page 170 out loud together, then through page 180, either in the Hebrew or the English, or if those words don't speak to you, the words of your own heart, your own silent prayer. When you are done with your prayer, please be seated, but if you are able, please rise now, and we'll begin together on page 164.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim
Take a few moments specifically thinking of those members of our community, loved ones, friends, family who are in need of healing. We are particularly mindful of Johanna Mabry, Debbie Pisrak, Joanne Blumberg, Erica Arnold, Marilyn Jeffs, Valentina Wolfson, Sally Rose Campbell, Hillary Handwerger, David Bloom, Judy Eisenberg, Milton Schall, Jake Waxman, Bridget Ford, Roxanne Pawandra, Joel Berger, Margaret Leslie, Karen Simon, Steve Gill, Stacy Young, Paul Vanek, Reuven Levine, Jack Jr. Roper, Amy Pabert, Sidney Uzum, Barry Hopkins, Dave Gordon, Julie Lambert, Stacy Hostler, Ann Wisiak, Betsy Marks, Steve Russman, Bill Wilkes, Allison Conroy, Debbie Weiner, and Rick Spire. If there are other names to add to our list for healing, please do so as my eyes meet yours. Page 371. In the spirit of Passover, we're going to talk about bread. In a town very far away, not so unlike Ann Arbor, there was a great baker. His name was Nathan. And Nathan was not just a great baker, he happened to be the best baker, basically, in the entire world. And he could take a what's it called, the thing that you push you push the icing through, that icing like pastry bag. He could take a pastry bag. He could make roses like you've never even seen on a rose bush. They were so beautiful. Right? He could do them in this color and that color, and if he accidentally messed one part up, it became something, another part of another plant. It was the most gorgeous icing a person had ever seen. In fact, one day he was making a wedding cake, and people came just to watch him, which actually isn't so weird because we have cooking shows that you do that exact same thing right now. People came to watch him decorate a wedding cake, and he brought it out, and everybody screamed, "Oh, it's so beautiful, it's so wonderful, it's so amazing." He was the best pastry chef, the best baker, as I said, in the entire world. He would bake his cakes, he would make his icing sculptures. He would do this day in and day out. And one day, he was working so hard. He was in his home, next to his spouse. His spouse looked at him and said, What are you doing, Nathan? What are you doing? All you do is work all the time. And he said, "Yes, but I'm the best baker ever. And everybody comes and they ooh and ah at my cakes and they want to taste my pastries. I'm the best." His spouse went on and on. "Nathan, you got to take some time. You got to slow down. You need to make sure that now you're not only making roses, but you're smelling them too." Nathan didn't care to listen. He went on and he became the best baker in the universe. And one day, as he was baking one of his cakes and decorating one of his cakes, he had her knock on the door. And a young girl was outside the door. "Excuse me, Nathan, I know you are really busy with your cakes and your pastries and everything, but do you have any challah?" And Nathan, challah? No, I don't have any challah. I'm sorry, I don't have that today. In fact, I don't ever bake challah anymore. I'm working on these cakes all of the time. She said, closed the door and went off, and Nathan sat there thinking about his mother's challah. He hadn't thought about his mother's challah in years. How beautiful it was, how sweet it was, how delicious it was. And he just couldn't help himself. He took out the flour, and he took out the yeast that you're not supposed to use on Passover, and he took out the honey and the eggs and the water and the fat, and he put it all together, and he started kneading his challah, and he started braiding his challah, and he made dozens of chalot. He was making challah all day long, putting them into the oven, taking them out, braiding every which way. He was so engaged. He was braiding his beard. He was braiding so many chalot. All of the chalot were out, and Nathan looked at them. They look so beautiful. Don't they look beautiful? Yes. And they smell so delicious. Don't they smell so delicious? But they just don't look like my mother's challah. What? And he tried a piece. It's not bad, but it's not Mama's challah. At this point, Nathan gave up on the icing. Nathan gave up on the cakes. Nathan gave up on the pastries. He baked challah after challah, trying to figure out what was missing from the challah. What did he forget to put in the challah that his mother would put in the challah? And a few weeks later, there was another knock at the door. And the same young woman came to the door and said, Nathan, do you have any chalot now? And he said, as a matter of fact, I do. I've been baking challah nonstop since you came to my house that first time. You came to my bakery that first time. Come in. And she looked around. She said, oh, those are beautiful chalot. And they smell good, but there's something not quite right about them. And he said, what are you talking about? What do you know about my chalot? She said, well, they don't look or smell like your mother's challah. He said, my mother, how do you know about my mother's challah? She said, well, I go to your house every Friday night for Shabbat dinner. And your spouse bakes your mother's challah every Friday night for Shabbat dinner. But you're here working all the time, Nathan. Nathan went home. How could it be that my spouse knows how to bake my mother's challah, and I don't know how to bake my mother's challah? What is going on here? And he went home and he talked to his spouse. He said, what's going on? Why do you know? And his spouse explained, Nathan, don't you remember when we got married, your mother gave me her recipe for her challah, and I've been baking that challah every week since we got married. Nathan, you just haven't been here to enjoy it. And he took a deep breath, and he sat down, and from then on, Nathan had his mother's challah, and he took a little time for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. So, as I have said in years past, I can say that now because it's like 3 years that I've been here in July. Not many years past, but it's been years now. The main reason I wanted to be the rabbi here at Temple Beth Emeth is because the Omer counter. Because it is awesome. I love it. So we're gonna count the Omer, and it's in your handouts. So what's the Omer? So beginning the second day of Passover, our ancestors would bring an Omer. It's a weight measurement of barley to the temple in Jerusalem. And so the tradition has become to count the days between Passover, the second day of Passover, and the next the next holiday of Shavuot. It's the second of the 3 pilgrimage festivals. So the first one is Passover. Thank you. The second one, I already told you. And the third one is Sukkot. Excellent. Those are our 3 pilgrimage festivals. I know we like to think of like there's nothing more important than Yom Kippur. That's actually kind of not true. The 3 pilgrimage festivals, and by the way, Shabbat is actually the most sacred of all days as far as our tradition is concerned. So that's why Nathan, it's good that he's taking some time off, by the way. So the 3 pilgrimage festivals, especially for our ancestors, right? Because pilgrimage festivals, they would go to Jerusalem 3 times a year to bring either the first animals that were born, which is what they were doing at the beginning of Passover, right? They were bringing a lamb to the temple and slaughtering the lamb, and they had a real Hillel sandwich. I know we all had maror and I was going to say horseradish, maror and charoset, but they would have their maror, their bitter herbs with some lamb. And I'll mention this again, that there are families, now I'm totally all over the place and digressing, but there are families who specifically don't have red meat at Passover to avoid the look of the fact that the idea that you'd be eating the Passover sacrifice again, since we don't make sacrifices anymore. There's no temple in Jerusalem, hopefully never will be, and we don't have to worry about making sacrifices. So there are some Jews who don't eat red meat, or even specifically lamb on Passover, and some that specifically eat lamb on Passover because we're Jews. So where was I going? Okay, so they brought their lambs at the beginning of Passover, and then you start bringing your barley, and then after Shavuot you start the wheat harvest, and then Sukkot, it's like everything else, all of the other sort of fall vegetables that get harvested, and our ancestors would bring those to the temple. But we're just going to count the Omer, yeah? Okay. So if you want to join us, you can stay where you are if you'd like. If you want to join us on the bima to help count the Omer, you can come up too. That's fine as well.
It's easier to see the magnets up here too.
Yeah, there are 6 already. Last night, the Brotherhood and I counted the 6th day of the Omer, and so we put up the 6 magnets. So we have to get our 7th out of here. Right? And so these are not wheat, these are barley. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say the blessing. It's on the back side of the cover. It says counting the Omer. So we say the blessing, and then you have to actually say what day it is of the Omer. So let's do it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom shiv'a yamim shehem shvua echad la'omer. Today is the 7th day, making 1 week of the Omer. It's done. It's been counted. I love it.
Well, you have 6 more weeks to go.
I know, right? Page 586. 586. We continue with Aleinu. Please rise if you're able.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekiru l'yotzeh b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'nishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני ומלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love we are comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. We are in the first 30 days of mourning, the period of Shloshim for Esther Pollins, Ray Mike, Lottie Rosenbaum, and Ruth Bromberg. Our yahrzeits this week are for Florence Ashen, Martha Caesar, Hannah Cohen, Israel Cohen, William Eggerman, Jack Fagan, Libby Flumenbaum, Leon Flumenbaum, Maurice Friedman, Edith Goldman, Beatrice Hyman, Alfreda Ketchel, Gussie Levine, Hillel Levine, Helen Lewis, Richard Margolis, Ellie Stein, Norman McKeaton, Irene Mecketon, Ruth Ann Newman, Joseph Newpuff, Jack Rittman, Alan Sack, Abraham Siegel, Michael Shafaroff, Max Siegel Jr., Michael Smith, Estelle Weiner, Marcy Walker, Ida Weinberg, Malcolm Weiss, Adeline Weissman, and Sam Schumacher. If there are other names to add to our list for mourning, please do so as my eyes meet yours. For all those mentioned, for all those who go unmentioned, and for all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we rise, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yivarach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon u'chayed lechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be forever a blessing.
Amen.
Please be seated. It is my honor to invite to our bima for a few more weeks the president of our congregation, Kettle Friedman Doan.
Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you had a lovely Pesach and shared some good food and some lovely traditions. And welcome here tonight. Thank you to our clergy for a lovely service. In my bulletin article, I talk a little bit about tradition and, some of the things that we do at Passover and what do you love about it. And one of the things that I love most, of course, is being with family. And tonight my father is here from Florida, has made it all the way up here at nearly 91 years of age. So, Theona, please introduce yourself and say hello to him. It's such a pleasure to have him in town. I also want to call your attention to some of the activities that are going on in May. If the weather ever agrees with us, we are supposed to clean up the grounds around here on Sunday. I don't know if that's going to happen with 3 inches of snow on the ground.
There's not 3 inches of snow coming. It's not happening.
It's not going to happen.
It's not happening.
Okay, the rabbi says it's not going to happen. God's yours. We do have a Yom HaShoah service on Wednesday. And also, please sign up for Mitzvah Day, which is Sunday, May 5th. There will be children's activities. I'm doing birthday boxes in the afternoon, and there's a lovely lunch and a little service before lunch and all of that. So please sign up. It's right on the Sign Up Genius in the announcements. And a few more activities. WTBE Shabbat next week. Yes. So don't forget to come. That would be great to see you all there. So have a good week. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh yes. Thank you very much. We are in the midst of planning a. What? Sarah, you want to make the announcement? No, please. You want me to do it? You'd rather me do it. You'd rather I do it. Okay. So June 28th, we are planning a Pride Shabbat. It is the fourth Friday of the month of June. We are working on a special catered meal for that month. So probably about 5:45 for dinner, and then a Pride Shabbat right after. And the location to be announced Saturday night. We are going to be doing in response to the fact that a few drag story times have been canceled throughout the country in the last few months. We are working on having a drag story time somewhere in town. Location again to be announced soon with Havdalah Saturday night as well. So there'll be some speakers in the service and some local organizations that support the LGBTQA community. And I was shocked. I mean, I was really shocked to learn from a few members of our LGBTQA community in the synagogue that Ann Arbor does not have any Pride events during Pride Month of June. It happens in August, which is not Pride Month. So we will have the great honor and therefore I think also responsibility of having a fantastic Pride event in the month of June, in remembrance in particular of the Stonewall incident many years ago, of course. June 28th and 29th. June 28th and 29th. So keep that in mind. We are about to start publicizing it, and this was the first official announcement. Now you want to add something? Yes, if you feel like you are a part of that community or an ally of that community in particular, and you have something to say, let us know. Or if you know somebody in the congregation, especially that might be interested, let them know and encourage them to reach out. We've put out some feelers, but haven't heard so much back. But there are a number of us engaged in planning already, and we want more. So, Kiddush and Motzi. Kiddush and Motzi. This is some very flat challah. Would anybody like to join us? Yes. Come on. Come join us for Kiddush and Motzi. Come join us. It's going to be delicious. I wonder if it's egg matzah. No,
I don't think it's
not.
I don't think so.
Wait, no, not yet. We don't want to embarrass the matzah. That's why you keep it covered. All right, Don't embarrass the matzah. Shh. Here we go. No. At the very beginning of everything, when God created the heaven and the earth, God made a separation between the sea above and the sea below, and God planted plants on the earth and put the sun and the moon and the stars in the sea above. And then God put the fish and the sea monsters in the sea below and the flying creatures in the sea above. And then God created all the creepy crawly things crawl over the earth. And then finally, on the sixth day, created us, human beings. And at the very end of that day, said to us, now it's time to rest.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei beri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'atzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'b'ratzon hifilanu zikaron lema'aseh
Bereshit, ki hu yom techila
v'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim B'Shabbat kodshcha be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat
lechaim.
L'chaim.
I think that the cup of wine was beginning to feel a little neglected when everyone was looking at the matzah.
Ooh, matzah. All right.
If you all hold this, we try to do our best not to break it yet.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
There's enough to go around. Don't worry. Oh yeah.
And now we have to sing.
That's good. That's a good sheet of matzah right there. If you haven't tried the gluten-free matzah, not kosher for your seder, but the rest of the time, it's the way to go.
It's really good.
Here we go. I need this.
Happy music.
Yeah. So our usher, Jesse, how much longer are you with us? Okay, Jesse's not going anywhere too soon, but he's moving to China. Probably all of us will be moving to China one day. I shouldn't say that with the live stream on, right?
We can certainly come for a visit.
But it will make his life a lot easier if you take your Sidurim and handouts with you as we exit our sanctuary in a few moments. Oh, let's do this. Sorry.
Nice key.
Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Yalla la 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 yalla la 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 yalla la 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 yalla la la la
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There is ice cream in the social hall for everybody, and you can sprinkle matzah on top.
Ooh, fun. so sorry that I was so confusing to you. I totally did not. It was like, I felt like I put you totally ridiculously on the spot. You were perfect, and I'm really, really sorry about doing that to you. Thank you so much for lighting the candles. I'm really sorry about that. Next time, I'll give you a heads up in advance. I want you to stay up there. Do you want to read English too? We usually do it.